Before we get into talking about financial aid, let's finish up talking about what you can do right now to prepare for college. So there are a few things that you should be doing every year, and you really just have this year and next year left before you would actually be a college student. So what you need to do this year and next year is first, you can actually estimate how much financial aid you're going to get right now. And so that kind of helps you get your mind right, as they say, for how much is this going to cost? What do I really need to be doing? What are we talking about? So the sooner you can start getting a feel for paying for college, the sooner you can develop your plan. So if you go to the FAFSA website, you can go to the forecaster and it will estimate what your financial aid will be. Now, when you go to that website, you're going to need to know your parents' adjusted gross income from their most recent tax return in order to really get a good estimate, because that's what it's based on. They want to know how much your family can expect to or would be able to contribute in order to figure out what grants and other financial aid you would be eligible for. So that's one thing that you should really do now and then again next year to figure out what your expected contribution will be towards your college education. And then another thing that you just need to be doing this year and next is to take challenging courses. But we talked about that already when we said you should challenge yourself or push yourself. So push yourself with regard to the classes that you take. So it's probably too late now to adjust your schedule for this year, but in the classes that you already have, make sure you're doing all that you can to get the best grades and really live up to your potential. A third thing that you can do this year and next is to get involved. You know, some schools want to see that you are a well-rounded student, that you didn't just go to school every day, do your homework, and play video games. They want to see that you were involved in school activities, whether it's sports or other extracurriculars, you know, maybe the debate team or some other types of clubs, or getting involved in your community, whether it's at your church or in community organizations or other social organizations. But get involved in different activities that interest you. Don't do it just for the sake of doing it and having something to put on your college application, but do something that's fun so that you can do a little bit more than just go to school every day. And then the last thing that you should be doing this year and next is talk to your counselor. So your counselor, you know, at most schools, you have the same counselor most of your high school career. And so they get to know you. They know what you like and don't like, and maybe have a sense for what you can and can't do in terms of things that you're interested in and where your strengths and weaknesses are academically. And then based on that, they typically have a pretty good idea of the schools and can help you start narrowing things down. You know, we talked about finding the right fit. And so a counselor is very, very good at helping you figure that out and narrowing it down, because you want to start developing that short list of schools. And so likely you're going to have some what they call safety schools. Those are the ones that you know you can get into. They're not necessarily your first choice, but kind of your fallback. Then you have, I don't know what you would call the second category, but probably something like your, I don't know, easy is not a good word, but the ones that you can pretty easily get into. And then there's schools that you'd really have to step up your game, maybe get a higher score than you're expecting on the ACT, or really get your grades up these last couple of years, because they're a little bit of a reach for you. But that's what we're working towards, is kind of getting your list of schools that you're interested in and start thinking about these three categories: ones that you could easily get into, ones that you could not so easily get into, and then there's kind of something in between. Or maybe just look at it in terms of easy and not so easy, or safety and reach schools. But that's what we're working toward, and that's what you should be thinking about every year as you prepare for college. And then I'll come back and wrap up by talking about what specifically you should be doing in 11th grade.